So hello and welcome back, geeks. Today we are on our day 18 of our 30 days of JavaScript series. So today question is execute asynchronous function in parallel. And this question is basically we have to implement a promise.all function in JavaScript. So people who are not familiar with promise.all, that what is that function? It is basically, let's say you are running a lot of asynchronous function at the same time and you want all the promises, all the functions which are async to be resolved. Then only you want to do something after all the functions have been executed, whether been resolved or whether been rejected. Then only you want to execute something, or you want to show the result of all of them at once. Then there we use promise.all. So here we have to implement the same thing. Like you can read the question: given an array asynchronous function, return a new promise each function in the array accept no argument and returns a promise. Okay, so each function in the array accept no argument, so they will take no argument and returns a promise, and it will return a promise. All promises should be executed in parallel. So this is the requirement, that we have to execute the promises in parallel. When any of the promise returned from function were rejected, promise should also reject with the reason of the first rejection. Okay, if any of the promise, जैसे कि कोई भी अगर promise जो है हमारा function में reject हो गया, तो promise जो है हमारा overall वो भी reject हो जाना चाहिए. Okay, एंड हमें यहाँ पे प्री बिल्ट प्रॉमिस डॉट ऑल नहीं यूज करना है, जो कि आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे लिखा है, इट इज वी हैव टू सॉल्व इट विदाउट यूजिंग प्रॉमिस डॉट ऑल, बिकॉज प्रॉमिस डॉट ऑल बेसिकली डज द सेम थिंग इन जावास्क्रिप्ट. सो लेट्स लुक एट द आई गेस एग्जांपल से इतना कुछ खास समझ में नहीं आएगा. आई मीन इससे बेटर है विल प्रोसीड टू द एग्जीक्यूशन पार्ट. ओके, तो इतना तो हमें समझ में आ गया कि हमें एक नया प्रॉमिस जो है वो बनाना है पहले और रिटर्न करना है. तो पहले कोई काम करते हैं, हम रिटर्न कर देते हैं एक न्यू प्रॉमिस. ओके, सो एक नया प्रॉमिस रिटर्न कर देते हैं. एंड अब यहाँ पे ना इसको हम रिजॉल्व एंड रिजेक्ट करेंगे. रिजॉल्व कॉमा रिजेक्ट, नॉर्मल आपका जो प्रॉमिस का सिंटैक्स होता है वही हम यहाँ पे लिखेंगे. अब क्या करना है, लेट्स से कि जो नया रिजल्ट है हमारा प्रॉमिस रिजॉल्व होने के बाद, जो रिजल्ट हमारा नया आएगा सारे प्रॉमिस रिजॉल्व होने के बाद, उसको ना हम एक एरे में स्टोर कर रहे हैं. लेट्स से वी आर स्टोरिंग इट and then array, and we have the results array over here, and sorry, we have the results array over here, and let's say the completed functions which have been called are 0. Initially it will be 0, and now we'll call the functions. Okay, so we will get an um over here you can see we'll get an array of asynchronous functions. So we are getting an array of functions, so we have to execute them, or loop put a loop on them. So how can we put a loop on them? Either we can use for each. Okay, so here I'm using for each function dot for each, so it will iterate through each of the function. Okay, and for that we will take first the function and then the index. And over here what we are going to do, we are going to call the function, and this is asynchronous, so we are going to use then and catch over here. Okay, so if function dot then, and let's say if we are getting result. Okay, if it is getting result, we are getting a result, and in the result, let's say the result, okay, let's think for a minute. So we can do, okay, the name are very similar, so we can either say uh, res, we can say res over here. So let's say res, not res, let's say we are getting results index. Okay, now what is happening here, let's say if the function got resolved. Okay, so it will come in then, and then will give us the response. So we are storing the responses in this array, so we will just simply store it in result index, whatever the index of the, we are matching the functions array and the result array. So for the first function we are storing the first result in the array index of 0. So here we will store the rest. Okay, this will be the this will be our response. And now we will do completed. Like the completed is simply to track how many of the like array we have solved, like we have iterated through over here. So let's say completed equal to 1. Now what we have to check, let's say if the completed we have iterated through all the functions, and now the function length and completed are equal. So if let's say completed equal to functions functions dot length. Now say let's say these two are equal. So what we have to do in this case, we simply have to resolve our promise. So we will resolve our promise, and what will we send in the result? We will simply send the results. Okay. So we are, so this case is when all the promise are giving the result and being resolved. Okay. Now let's just say our promise hasn't been resolved. Then we'll do catch, and in the catch, let's say we have the error over here. Let's just for some what XYZ reason, our promise doesn't got resolved. So simply it will do reject. And what we do have to reject, oh, we'll simply log it reject. If any promise fail, we will reject it simply. So this will what will happen if any of the promise will fail. So I guess this is pretty much it what we have to do over here, and let's try to execute this for once, and then we'll see what is happening. So over here I have executed it. Okay, so we are getting some error. There's a difference. Let's see what is the difference. Output is 1 rejected. Okay, expected was resolved 5 and it was giving rejected. Let's see where we are missing it. So we have created the new promise as it was there, and we are returning it as well. Now we are on resolve and reject will get. We have results array over here. We have the completed over here. Okay, this one, my bad. This spelling over here is wrong. function functions dot for each. This will be functions dot for each. My bad. So this should be working fine now. Okay. So the question, the test cases have been passed, and as you can see, all the 3 test cases have been passed. Now let's try to submit the question and let's see if it gets submitted or not. So over here, it is taking bit time. And now the question has, okay, it's not has been submitted. It is giving us still some error. So we are not passing. We are all the test cases. It is getting stuck on test case number 29, and it is says that the output is coming 189 resolved 5 and the t should be 200. Okay, so we are getting it, and let's try to see what is uh, not right over here. So we have done everything almost. We are resolving the results as well, and we are catching the error, and we are rejecting it as well. We are catching and rejecting the error as well. Let's try to go through one by one line. We have promise.all, then we have new promise over here. We are resolve. Let's see the spelling for once. What happens sometimes the spellings also get wrong. So we have the const result over here. We have completed the 0 over here as needed. Now we are going through function that for each. Then we are having this calling this function. Let's write it over here slightly. Then we are having the result. Then we are having index over here. So index, this is fine, and we are storing the result over here, which is coming from here. We are saying completed, and if completed equal to function dot length, and this should be fine. I think comma should not be an issue, but let's see. Completed dot length over here, and we have to resolve, and all the functions have been resolved, and then we have to catch the error, and we are rejecting the error. So simply that's it. I think it's, I don't see any issue over here, and I don't know why it is not getting submitted, but let's try to submit it once more. And I hope it is not due to network issue or something, but it should be okay. And I don't know what happened this time. I literally did anything different? Okay, I guess I have written the then over here only, I guess, or I have removed the comma. Okay, guys, I'll look into it. What was the issue? But I don't think I've done anything different over here, and it got submitted this time. And as you can see, the okay, so the runtime beats 97.63% of the total solution. This is pretty nice. I mean, so I believe it is pretty much optimized itself right now. Also, so the question has been solved, and it was a medium level question. Pretty much fine, I guess. But okay, you have to get some like this question was related to some core concept of JavaScript as Promise.all. So I would suggest go through the Promise.all function and what does it do, and it will give you a clear idea that what we are doing over here. So if anybody else have any better approach for this question, feel free to comment in the comment section. Till then, we'll see you in the next video. Till then, keep writing geeks.